Hey guys, welcome back. Today I just want to talk really briefly about a phrase that I use a lot, especially in office hours. I tend to say, take your hands off the wheel. Or in reference to my own experiences, I often say, when I feel tight or contracted or tense, when I find myself caught up in overwhelm or urgency or trying to fix or figure something out, I instinctively now, pretty quickly, almost immediately, take my hands off the wheel. I back up. I get out of the equation altogether. And so what does that mean exactly when I say I take my hands off the wheel? I think a more accurate way of saying it would be my hands are instinctively taken off the wheel. There's no me, my little mind, my little separate Missy doing it, because a mind that loves to control and manage is never going to say, ooh, take your hands off the wheel. So I think instinctively, it's correct to say, my hands are instinctively taken off the wheel when I notice that I'm becoming caught up and identifying in stories that are tight, contracted, and urgent, or high stakes. And so what does that mean exactly? And I think the most concise, clearest way to say it is that when we take our hands off the wheel, what we're saying is, I am no longer attempting to control and manage human experience. When we buy into stories that are conditioned, they are old as time, we have been told forever, certain experiences we cannot have, certain physiological responses in the body we cannot have, certain emotions are bad, they're unwanted, they're awful, we need to avoid them. And so what happens, because we're just human with human minds, is that we innocently get caught up in managing and controlling in an attempt, innocently, to keep a human experience at bay, to keep it at arm's length. We say something like, I'm trying to think of one, I can't stand large crowds. I hate large crowds. So then in our adorable minds, we spend time trying to figure out how to keep the experience, not of large crowds, but the pure raw experience that we're trying to avoid is discomfort, maybe fear, maybe anxiety. There's an experience we're trying to keep from happening. So if we say, I hate large crowds, then our minds go to work for us, building up all kinds of fortresses, and then it's vigilant about keeping us safe from large crowds so that we don't have to have the experience of fear, of discomfort. But the truth is, aside from the stories we've been taught about raw experience, fear, discomfort, all the things we have given these amazing, colorful labels to, well, they're just a concoction, a mixture of some sensations in the body, some biochemicals running around, some emotions running, some energy morphing and rising up. That's all that's happening. And without the labels and the stories that we've been taught to believe in, experience, raw, clean experience, is absolutely safe and beneficial. It's the movement and expression of energy. And energy does not want to be stagnant. It wants to move. So when we are holding experience, when we are managing and controlling experience, what we're doing is we're telling that energy, not consciously, of course, but what our bodies, what our cells are hearing is, no, we can't have that energy. No, we must keep that down. No, we must keep that away. So when I say, hands off the wheel, back up, what I'm saying is, stop trying to manage and control human experience. If grief is arising to be felt, feel it. If the energy of sadness, anger, rage, or even terror are coming up to be felt, feel them cleanly, not with all the stories about what they mean, how it happened, why it happened, what it's going to do to your future. Just in this moment, right now, what is the energy of terror? What is it? Without the stories and labels, can you just feel the raw sensation? One of the things I like to talk about with my clients and in office hours is that in the very center of every raw experience, not the stories, not the labels, but the raw experience of grief, fear, rage, terror, discomfort, whatever the raw experience is, right in the center, there's always a treasure. There's a lightness. There's a freedom. There's an imperturbable joy and peace. But we get there. I hate to use the phrase get there, but that arises for us. Not when we push away or push down or grip the steering wheel so tightly in an effort to keep experience from happening. We see it. We see that beautiful joy and imperturbable peace when we open our arms wide to experience, to the raw, clean sensations and emotions of grief, fear, rage, terror, all of them. There is no experience that's off the table. You are designed and equipped to feel all of them cleanly, not with all the stories, cleanly. I would love to hear how this goes for you. If you just want to play with, be curious about some of the experiences your mind has been innocently pushing away, pushing down, staving off. If you'd like to play with them, if you'd like to just sort of dip a toe in the water and see what it feels like to experience a raw emotion all the way, fully, until you get to the very center of it and you find the freedom and the peace and the joy that are found right in the center of it. I'm going to end with this poem, and I can't remember if I've read this before, but I think it goes really nicely with this topic. It's called You're Not the Costume. Beautiful one, you are lost in confusion. You're looking through the lens of your costume again. Of course, you feel unsure and afraid. That's the brilliance of the design. Take my hand and let me hold you for a little while. Let me remind you of the goodness and perfection of this costume that bears your name. See the humanness of the fabric, made from fibers of insecurity and doubt. Marvel at the beauty of the threading, infused with expectations and preferences. The costume is an expression of love. The fabric and threading are impeccable. Nothing is out of place. There is nothing to mend. Beautiful one, can you sense the love? Can you look down upon that costume and smile? The perfection is in the discomfort of the design. The kindness is in the raw vulnerability. You, beautiful one, are not the costume. You are the aliveness that animates her. You are the breath that breathes her. You are the space of love that holds her. Simply notice how she struggles and strains. Watch with love as she attempts to figure it all out. Hold her with kindness as she falls to her knees. Offer her grace as she searches for relief. You are not the costume. You are the expansive space of love, with the capacity to hold and heal all that this costume brings to the light. Thanks, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.